are you?
I am good. Thank you.
Yeah, are you enjoying the speaker presentations for the day one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, welcome on stage, Dr. Geetima Sharma. So, before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience. So,
Hmm.
Dr. Geetima is on stage. Dr. Geetima Sharma is a distinguished professor in counseling, life and career coach, and mental health consultant. She is committed to helping individuals achieve their relationship and career goals without compromising any aspect of their lives. With a master's degree in counseling and a PhD in counselor education, Dr. Sharma has published over 30 research articles and delivered 50 conference presentations on topics including sense of purpose, hope, happiness, self-worth, cultivating fulfilling relationships, and achieving career success. Dr. Sharma offers transformative coaching sessions. Her support helps clients break free from self-limiting beliefs and systemic barriers, empowering them to pursue their highest aspirations with unconditional self-worth and confidence. So yes, that was really a great presentation. Yeah, there is lot of interaction, but the time is not sufficient. So yes, now the stage is all yours, Dr. Deepika.
Thank you so much, Melinda. I understand the challenge of, hosting at a global level and with time, but it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you, everyone. I hope you can see my screen, right? So let's begin. Yeah. So the topic that I chose for this conference is 3 steps to transform stress into joy and fulfillment. We all are living such busy lives, juggling multiple roles. I'm mother of 2 young kids who are 9 and just 4 years old, as well as a professor, coach, consultant, and speaker. And I understand that when we are juggling multiple roles, it sometimes stress is unavoidable, right? But how do we use stress as something that can create a momentum to experience greater joy and fulfillment rather than suffer due to stress induced illness, stress induced relationship conflicts, or even be prone to burnout that would then lead to giving up on our various goals. So one way to do so is to tap into the power of self-worth and sense of purpose, and that's what my presentation in next 30 minutes is going to focus on. We just have 30 minutes together, and I will do my best to just distill everything that I have researched so far in a way that you can grasp and really make best use of it. So the goal of my coaching practice is to be able to support clients to overcome the root causes of stress, overwhelm, and burnout, and achieve their relationships and career goals while really nurturing their own mental health and personal well-being. At core, I want to be able to support you to cultivate a strong sense of purpose and self worth so that you can navigate life's transitions, uncertainties, and challenges with much greater joy and sense of fulfillment. Before we begin, I just want to share my story briefly. When I was in high school, I was grappling with anxiety, lack of hope, and lack of confidence, which was mainly caused due to my own parents' struggle with depression. My mom had tried to commit suicide, and few years later, my dad also was struggling with suicidal ideation. During that time, when I was in high school, one of my teachers who really believed in my potential, even if I couldn't see my own potential, gifted me a book by a well renowned philosopher, peace activist, Dr. Daisaku Ikeda. Through reading his book, I really grasped the fact that every single person has a unique purpose that they can fulfill. And once we awaken to our life's purpose, we are able to bring out the strength as well as tap into the external resources that we need in order to keep moving forward in the direction of achieving all our goals, and the goals through which not only we experience greater personal well being, but are also able to advance a positive change in our family, in community, and in society at large. I then started engaging in some self reflective practices and grassroots efforts to bring peace, culture, and education based on the philosophy of Buddhism that Dr. Ikeda highlighted. As I did so, I reflected on these important questions. What is my purpose? What role can I play on this grand stage of world peace and happiness of everyone? And when I was 19, I really resolved that I will use my life to reduce depression and anxiety in society, especially through the power of dialogue, the kind of dialogue that is rooted in deep respect for the dignity, potential, and profound purpose of the person's life. So that's why I moved to the US, did my master's in counseling, then did my PhD in counselor education, did abundant research on factors that can protect people against feelings of depression, anxiety, and burnout. And I found that even more than life satisfaction, it is sense of purpose that protects us from these feelings of depression as well as suicidal ideation. And then that became my topic of research. Everything that I'm going to share today is rooted in my last decade of teaching the future counselors and therapists, my more than 50 conference presentations, as well as recently, this year in May, I was invited by Stanford University as one of the top 8 researchers in the area of sense of purpose in life. So, everything that I will share is rooted in research along with my personal experiences because I really want to connect with you based on our shared humanity. Anytime you have any question, please put it in the chat. Hello, Christina. I see your message in the chat. Thank you for being here. Anytime anyone who has a question, just put it, and I would love to keep also looking at your insights as I share. So let's get started. What are 3 essential steps that you can engage in to break through the feelings of stress and burnout? The 3 steps that I will share with you are extremely simple to grasp, something that would resonate with you at humanity level, but also what is profound and rooted in research that you can already start implementing. At end, I would also share some QR codes on my ebook that you can access for free. It's actually listed in resources too, as well as ways we can continue to connect and work together. Step 1 is to really identify and begin addressing the underlying reasons behind your feelings of stress and overwhelm. Each one of us is unique with our own unique journey. At core, what I believe is that each one of us has infinite potential, this limitless potential to be able to break through whatever we are going through. However, just as on rainy, cloudy days, we don't doubt that sun is there. It's just that the sun is so clouded with dark, thick clouds. And it's matter of moments that those clouds can move apart and we can see the shining sun. Similarly, within us is all the potential we need to be able to identify and then break through feelings of stress and burnout. However, many times this potential is clouded with our own insecurities, our feelings of guilt, confusion, overwhelm, as well as our own self limiting beliefs that make us diminish our own self esteem, our own self worth, and lack of clarity regarding what we want to do. That's where engaging in such conferences, engaging in dialogues with those who really care for us, and seeking professional support helps to be able to process those clouds of despair and then tap into our own life's potential to be able to break through. To begin, I want us to start reflecting on just 6 questions that I have taken from Mental Health America Institute on stress management. These items are validated and are research proven. And just through glancing, I really want you to reflect upon what, resonates with you. So the first is I want you to reflect on, do you often find yourself with tension headaches? Those headaches that are not caused due to lack of, eating a meal that day, but just filled with tension and stress. Second question to reflect on, to really tune in with yourself, and gauge any impact of stress and overwhelm on you is, do you find yourself eating emotionally, eating unhealthy foods, or eating when you are not hungry, but as a response to stress or difficult feelings? You can put responses in chat. You can also just, reflect on maybe a piece of paper that might be lying next to you. Third is, do you have supportive social network and fulfilling relationships? Options can be yes, my friends and family help a lot with stress. Somewhat, I have few close relationships and can't talk to people. No, I don't have, that supportive system where I can really process, my own feelings of stress and overwhelm in a way that is true to myself. Next question to reflect on is, are you easily irritated lately? Another question is, do you often feel fatigued? At the end of the day, I feel it's natural. So, especially those of us who are at this conference right now, because we want to achieve great goals through our career. We want to be able to advance a positive change in our world. We deeply care for our own families. And it's natural that when we are doing our best, we will feel fatigued. However, what is not normal is to start feeling fatigued even before the day has ended, or to start feeling fatigued not because of the effort that we have made, but because of so much that we are harboring in our own hearts and our minds. Another question to reflect on is that, do you have a feeling that stress may be affecting your health? And then, what I want to share with you is that research has shown that currently those who are in their 30s and 40s are representing a genetic age of those in 60s and 70s. And that's why some of the illnesses that we hear about, such as higher blood pressure, weakened immunity, stress related illnesses, including heart attacks at young age, including cancer, including autoimmune disorders, are everything that people have started experiencing at a younger age, because research is showing that we are, our cellular aging is at much rapid speed right now because of juggling multiple roles and experiencing a lot of stress and overwhelm. That's why it's with deep care that I will share with you how you can break through these feelings of stress and overwhelm. So, moving forward, to be able to identify your own root causes of stress and then begin addressing them, it is important to understand that there are three types of stress. One is psychological stress that is caused in relation with our own thoughts, our own feelings. So, the kind of stress that we experience because of our own negative self talk, when we don't believe in ourselves, or when we feel that our mind wants something, but emotionally, based on our heart, we are inclined towards something else. And then there is this conflict between our thoughts and our emotions. Or the stress that we experience when we feel that the gap between where we are and where we aspire to be is just too large. Psychosocial stress refers to the stress that we experience in the context of relationships, our relationship conflicts. And then there is psychospiritual stress that we experience when we feel that there is lack of purpose and lack of meaning in life. Some of the common reasons that clients have reached out to me when they have been feeling stressed out, it's either work related, relationships related, lack of time, lack of work life balance, or even unhealthy ways to cope with the struggles that they are experiencing. However, when we dig deeper, what becomes clear is that it's not really lack of time, lack of resources, and lack of support that's causing them stress, but it's often their own lack of ability to say no, to have healthy boundaries, their lack of belief in their own potential. Because when we don't believe in our own selves, we don't even allow ourselves to dream big or go all out for our dreams. And then we get overwhelmed because somewhere we know we are not living true to our own potential and our own dreams. Another reason for stress and overwhelm is lack of clarity regarding what we really want to be able to achieve. When we are not clear about our life's highest aspirations and purpose, then we are not able to set clear goals in present. We are not able to have clear short term and long term goals. And that's why are not able to generate this momentum to be able to break through feelings of stress and overwhelm, and then really experience ultimate joy and fulfillment that comes from living a life where we are not compromising on any aspect of life or another. That's why comes a step two. Step two, that I will now go deeper into, is how to overcome the cycle of self doubt and cultivate unconditional self worth. Research has shown that in a single day, we experience around 60,000 thoughts. Isn't that crazy? You know, hi Adra, welcome to, thank you for being here. Others too who are joining and catching up on replay on YouTube or, in chat would just love to, see your messages. But it's true that in a single day, we have about 60,000 thoughts, and 75% of those thoughts are negative, and 95% of those negative thoughts are repetitive. They keep occurring, mainly in form of our own negative self-talk. So, how should we transform these thoughts? What is important to understand is that there are three kinds of thought processes that really impact our well being. Research on depression has shown that if we are able to transform these three kinds of thought processes, then we would be able to experience greater well being. The first one is how we view our own selves. So, when we look at our own selves, our own life, our own day, how do we perceive it? How do we perceive our own self? Is so critical. And that also impacts the other two thought processes. One, how do we view others? When we view others, do we feel that some are superior or inferior to us? Do we feel that there is this hierarchy of some being better, equal, or lesser than us, which is not true, because we all are equal and we all are really deeply connected based on our shared humanity. And when we start viewing others from the space of absolute respect for them and absolute belief in their potential, then we also stop comparing ourselves with others. Then we don't feel the need to prove ourselves. And then our relationships become so much more authentic and value creating. How do we view our future? When we view our future, do we feel a sense of hope? Do we feel that we are moving towards our future based on our purpose and a hope filled momentum? Or is it based on fear and anxiety? When we transform how we view ourselves, how we view others, and then how we view our future, we are able to really transform our own hearts, our own emotions, and even our day to day behavior in the direction of what can bring us joy and fulfillment rather than staying stuck in the feelings of stress and overwhelm. So, I will go deeper into how we view our own selves and then how to transform that. Here, I want to share my own story with you. As I shared, I started pursuing my master's in counseling and then PhD in counselor education based on my deep resolve to reduce depression and anxiety in society. Because of especially seeing my own parents grapple with depression and then how it impacted their health and my mom's longevity. Moving forward, when I started working as a professor, I started working when I just had 3 months old baby. And as a woman from underrepresented ethnic background in academia here in the US, I knew that the stats were against me. Only 36% of women in America actually get tenure and promotion, and only 15% are able to get highest promotion. Not because women are not capable, women are actually so capable. And we so desperately need to create a century of women because women's power, the energy, the compassion, the resolve that women have to be able to contribute to others' life is so needed in our world that is suffering so deeply right now because of war that's happening in our global family and the rising rates of depression and anxiety. Though being a woman from underrepresented ethnic background in academia, I knew that women also invest a lot in invisible emotional labor. And the decisions of tenure and promotion are often based on teaching evaluations and number of research publications. Within my own second year, I found myself chairing four programs and being a part of committees, more than 10 committees. And then I remember one day when I was asked to chair the fifth committee, I said, I need time to think about it. That night, I was warned that if I say no, then it could hamper my chances of tenure and promotion. However, that night when I engaged in my self reflective practice, I really reflected on the underlying purpose behind being in academia, being a professor. And it was clear that the reason I was professor was to nurture the next generation of leaders who can advance mental health and well being. And that's why it was so important for me to role model my own mental health and well being. And I decided to say no. And actually, 2 years later, I got early tenure and promotion. And then I was also appointed as the chair of my university's mental health task force. This was at the time when COVID 19 struck, in the year 2020. And a lot of women were leaving academia and other jobs because how difficult it became to be working mothers while working from home. During that time, I started leading training sessions to be able to support administrators, to be able to create a culture that genuinely values people instead of only expecting high performance. However, one thing that I want to share with you is that during this journey of achieving early tenure and promotion, and also my green card as outstanding professor and scholar in America, I experienced a miscarriage while after I conceived my second baby. And my immediate thought that night when I had miscarriage was that maybe I am not even a good enough mother to one child. And maybe that's why I'm not able to have second child. I knew I was excelling professionally, but deep down, I constantly judged myself in terms of my own parenthood because of not giving the ideal amount of time that I was socialized to believe that a parent should be giving. And I really, as a mother, do not believe in sacrificing our own dreams and aspirations for raising our children. That night, when I was grappling with this dark thought, one of my friends reached out to me from the community I belong to that is really rooted in dignity of life based on profound philosophy of Buddhism. And my friend shared with me that Gitima, your miscarriage is not because you're not a good enough mother. It's because you have a profound purpose to relate with and give hope to other parents who might also be dealing with these concerns in future. That night, when I engaged in my self reflective practice of active meditation and chanting, I realized that actually, as a mother, I am sparing no effort to fully love my child and raise my child as a capable citizen of the world who, in his own unique way, can advance world peace and happiness of everyone. And that there is no need for me to continue to judge myself based on these externally imposed socio-cultural expectations. I really felt I broke through with the concept of self worth that night. I realized that my self worth is not attached to my external titles or achievements at my profession, and neither is it attached to my roles and responsibilities and growing to do list as a parent. My self worth is inherent and unconditional, just the way I am. And what is important is for me to deeply honor and respect the power, the potential, and the profound purpose of my own life. After that, I actually had three more miscarriages. But then I was able to conceive and give birth to my second child, who is just so healthy and such a joy. Here is his photo. And when I was reflecting on my own journey of, building my self worth during this time of miscarriage, I realized that it comes down to these eight things that I really hope you can implement. One is please dedicate some time or talk to someone who is trained in this profession of counseling and coaching to be able to identify the root causes of your self doubt. Mine were rooted in the socio cultural expectations that I put on myself, and then how I feel I am not living up to these expectations. Second is guided imagery. We all have some unmet needs that might have got unmet during our childhood years, including need for approval, need for self esteem, need for validation. However, when we try to fulfill these needs from external measures of success or the amount of attention others are giving to us, it is like this bottomless pit that we are trying to fill with something external, and it will never be enough. Through engaging in techniques like guided imagery or my self reflective practice that I engaged in that night, we are able to fill our life with confidence and worth from within and stop seeking validation from outside. That's when we realize that our worth is inherent. It's also important to practice self compassion and the skills of visualization, journal writing, cognitive reframing. Because we have less time right now I will go deeper into the third step, which is to clarify purpose. Often, the root cause behind feelings of stress and overwhelm is actually lack of purpose. But once we engage in purpose strengthening techniques, then we are able to overcome even these symptoms, such as lack of joy and fulfillment in our daily life or difficulty in persevering through challenges. We are able to experience greater direction and focus and are able to experience even a longer, healthy life. So recently, I got awarded to create a course that can support people to awaken and strengthen their sense of purpose. Here are the 5 stages that I supported my clients and students to engage in. One is to really explore who you are. Second is to engage with the causes that you are passionate about. Third is to reflect upon how everything you are doing is connected to overarching purpose. Fourth is to articulate your life's vision and mission statement. And fifth is to actualize. Set clear goals that can help you to achieve your purpose. It's important to know that when we set goals, a part of our subconscious would always hold us back because we are socialized to be fear driven and we are socialized to not believe in ourselves. So, even when we set high goals, high aspirations, and clear purpose that we are striving for, there's a part of us that would hold us back due to fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not living up to ours or others' expectations. And then there are techniques that you can engage in to reprogram this subconscious. And that is something that I help my clients with. Moving forward, please reflect on what kind of future do you envision? When you are clear about the kind of future you really want to, accomplish, then you would feel that your subconscious gets trained in the direction of focusing on your vision and your goals rather than holding you back due to imposter syndrome, low self-worth, lack of purpose, and so on. Here are other techniques that I engage with my clients with. You can take a screenshot, and then there is also a link to an ebook that's in the resources, and would be also linked, wherever you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. And then that's where you can tap into these techniques. One of them, which I absolutely love, is to really build your sense of autonomy, that you are the driver on the driver's seat in your car. And the sense of autonomy, that is that you can direct your life in the direction you want. However, I also understand that there are so many systemic barriers that are again specifically women and specifically women from underrepresented backgrounds. And what is important is to learn the art of self advocacy and to really protect your dreams and collaborate with those who you know will deeply care for your success and will see your potential even in the moments when you are not able to see your own potential. So moving forward, it is so important to have professional support because there's so many techniques that you can access by simple Google search or chat GPT. But research has shown, for example, that journaling is a very important technique that people use for self-care. However, if you are experiencing depression, despair, chronic sadness, and if you journal about the events of your life that are making you sad, then research has shown that it would act as a downward spiral. Rather, what you need is thought journaling if you are dealing with depression and despair. because thought journaling will help you to identify some self defeating thoughts and change them into self empowering mindset. Similarly, there are different kinds of journaling to do if you're dealing with stress or anxiety. So here is the program that I have, which is to move from stress and burnout to joy and fulfillment. What I would love for you to do is to just scan this QR code, get access to this ebook, really read, because in these 30 minutes, I could not do justice to all this research and insights that I would have loved to share with you. And then get on a free consultation session with me where you will get dedicated time and space to share about your concerns, your goals, and then get some personalized resources and strategies that can work for you. I am genuinely looking forward to connecting with you, and let's together continue to build a culture of care that values mental health and inner well being, along with boundless career success. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gitima Sharma. That was really a fantastic session today. You drew the audience with your great presentation. Yes, as we are running out of time, so the questions will be posted to you directly. So yes, you can respond to that. So please join our next speaker session as they are waiting on the backstage. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Melinda. Bye.